Okay, so week 9 is all about interpreting or using a chain analysis and interpreting the decision tree. The decision tree, also referred as the gains chart, is the output of a chain analysis. Chain analysis stands for chi-squared automatic interaction detection. And the whole purpose of this gains chart or decision tree is we want to determine how deep into a file we need to go in order to select the prospects that have the results you're looking for. So it might be in terms of dollars or in terms of response rate, or in this case, credit card rating. So let's just imagine we have a population size of only 2,500. So let's pretend we're in Nunavut, for example, and we're making lumber. And we only want to target those consumers that are making or that have good credit card ratings, because those that have bad credit card ratings are not going to pay us, and that wouldn't be good for the company. So the log company is doing this chain analysis to determine how deep to go into finding those segments. And so chain automatically recognizes that the best predictor around which to begin segmenting the prospect market would be income level. It's our first independent variable, first one that comes up. And so, a little side note, if Chade is suggesting income level to be a good independent variable, we might want to use it in our regression analysis when we score the database, because it's considered valuable here. But that's going into the whole regression discussion. So our entire population is split up by 58.6% of which have good credit and 41.4% have bad credit. But it's not enough in order for us to send, say, direct mail catalogs or whatever, log catalogs, to 58% of the population. That's a pretty big number. And imagine this wasn't none of it. Imagine this was all of Canada or all of the US. That would be a huge number. So the question is, let's dig deeper into all these independent variables to see what's a more qualified. Let's get this 58% to close to 100%. And so that's what the CHAID does. It recognizes income level as a good indicator of good or bad debt. And if we look at those that have low income, and low income can be considered individuals making less than 20K, those are the business rules that would be into the system, but that doesn't matter for now. We recognize that 82.1% of this segment, this low income earning consumer, has bad credit card ratings, and only 20% or 18% really have good credit card ratings. So we know that we're going the wrong way, because we don't want to target this segment because they have poor credit card rating. We're better off targeting the entire population and get a higher response rate, or call it higher response rate, than going here. Sure, we're going to save money because we're only going to be distributing direct mail content to 553 consumers, but we're not going to get a good response rate. Let's look into those average income consumers, or low to medium. Now we have a fairly even 58% have good credit and 42% have bad credit. So the number is still smaller. We're going to be mailing all these people here. It's still smaller than this, and we'll get a fairly average, the same response rate. So the decision, if you want to send 2,500 letters to everyone in Nunavut and get that same response rate, or we can call it response rate in this regard, or you can send it to only 1,140, 1,000, just over 1,000 consumers, and get the exact same response rate. So here we're saving money in terms of marketing costs or postal stamps, but making the same response rate, which is good, but we can do better. So let's look to those consumers that are making a high income. Those making a high income, it's only 777 consumers. Of that 777, 88.4% are making good or have a good credit rating, and 11.6 have a bad credit rating. So far this is our best segment, because we're only mailing 777 consumers, and has the highest response rate, or has the variable that has the best credit rating, which means that they're most qualified to buy our logs. Logs is just an example. It's not the actual log transformation. It's talking about tree bark. Okay, So now let's go to our next independent variable, which is considered number of credit cards. This is less significant than the income level as determined by the Chait analysis. So let's look at the most qualified one to save time. Of the high income consumers in Nunavut, those that have more than 5 credit cards currently, 82.4% of which have good credit rating and 20% of which have bad credit rating. This might be a segment that has a lot of money but also likes to have a lot of debt and or perhaps earns their income a little bit longer. They need a lot of credit cards. So 20% of them have bad debt, 80% have good debt, or good ratings rather. And of those that have less than 5 credit cards, 96.9% have good credit ratings and 3% have bad credit ratings. So I know that this number is cut off here and it's actually right up here, but that is, oh dear, I think it's down below. Here it is. So that's 322, so there's a 3 there and a 22. You get to send only 322 mail content or envelopes or whatever you're sending to them, catalogs call it, and you'll get almost a 97% response rate, or in this case you're mailing only to qualified leads that have the money to buy your logs or have the credit rating to buy your expensive wood. And so this is a segment that you'd really want to target. However, let's pretend instead of you're a log manufacturer in Nunavut, you're a credit card company or a credit card depot in Nunavut, and you want to target those that are making low income that need credit cards. So those that have more than 5 credit cards, you might want to target those that have bad debt. If they have bad debt, they might need additional credit cards. You can see how risky they are in terms of age. You might want to target those that have really bad debt that are less than 30 years old or greater than 30 years old and have good debt in order to send them a statement saying, hey, sign up for our credit card debt. We have low % interest if you can't pay on time. And so it really depends on what the business is and using the credit rating, which in this case is your dependent variable, along with all these independent variables here. And so that sums up how to interpret a decision tree or gains chart, which is the output of a Chait analysis. And to sum up, the gains chart is a handy tool for seeing what levels of expected probability would result from going increasingly deeper into a prospect's file. So in this case, this is the deepest we should go, 2 independent variables deep in order to get a qualified segment. Thanks for listening.